get in today's behind the scenes?
I mean, we're here. So I think if you got things to say, let's say them.
So here's where I'm at. We're doing this fundraise. We've got $45 million in commitments. And so far, none of it is from anyone in my state. And I'm starting to feel frustrated about it. Today was one of those days where a group in the state gave us, I think, Brian, this might be our second no since we started fundraising. Maybe 3. I don't know.
Yeah, like 20 yeses and like 3 no's, something like that.
So like no's are never fun, but like I'm looking for a hometown signal, one that like I'd like somebody from my hometown or home state to invest. That's all. And I'm just a little bitter about it.
I think you have the right to be bitter, but I think it's also just another example that all of our founders face, at least on occasion, where they have to struggle with that question of, do I just pack up and move out to the coast, right? Do I just go and live in San Francisco for a year or 2 or New York or Boston? Because so many of our founders deal with the same issue and it sucks.
Yeah. That's very true. And we've had offers to move all operations other places. I've lived here in Cincinnati for 20 plus years now. And I don't know, like the more I get into this work, the more isolating it feels as a Black GP. Where people would like to retweet and send you words of congratulations, and you're the first person that they hold up as this shining star, but yet money only goes into the nonprofit that we run and not into the for-profit. And that's super frustrating to me. Like, we're good enough for, investing in programming and not for investments for a return. I don't know. I'm just super frustrated about it today. I'm sure that at some point it's going to work itself out, but we have to make good business decisions for the fund that we're raising. And I don't know. I think that GPs sometimes are close in proximity to their LPs. And if right now I'm on an island, I feel like I'm on an island.
Yeah, I mean, you think about people of like Oklahoma, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, all these other places are sending, tens of millions of dollars because they're also hoping to get more activity in their places, right? And we've got to be fair to those folks when other states don't send anything but want you to do everything. It just doesn't. It's truly unfair, and it is also the kind of problem that we're trying to solve for society, where people in the Midwest are sending capital to the coasts, right? And it's not coming back to their communities. And so it's important we don't participate in that same situation where other parts of the Midwest are kind of bankrolling parts that aren't pulling their fair share.
Yeah, and I'll also add that, this is a lesson that we teach founders all the time, like find out the investment criteria of that fund and make sure that you align with it before you go through diligence, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that we did all of those things, but the replies back to us were, these are the reasons why we're not investing, right? 1, geography. Okay. Like, you knew the geography before I started, right? Like, hands down, you knew where I was invested. We're a Midwest fund. We do make some of our investments in Ohio. We make some of those other places. Second reason, you're an emerging fund manager. Again, we all knew that ahead of time. The third reason actually is completely irrelevant and not even worth talking about. It's actually just the wrong. It's completely false. So, but those two reasons, like everybody knew that ahead of time. But I guess everybody has to have a reason for the no. So I just would like valid reasons for the no.
Yeah, and going back to something you said earlier in your first part, you have to look with a leery eye at people who will give in grants tens of millions of dollars for poverty work for Black people, but refuse to invest in Black people for return. Like, there's a serious sickness there. And it's in the face of like a positive person, but it's actually very, very negative, like extremely corrosive and negative. And it's part of the reason that we've come to this place in history that we have today. There's no lack of poverty work in this space, but no one wants to help a group to get ahead. And that's economic justice.
Yeah, you're right. I think I ran into an economic justice issue today. And I think that, you know, they asked if we had any questions and we're going to go back and talk to them about it and state our case, maybe for the next group. I don't know who that next group is because no one's coming. I can tell you that much, right? Like, are there any even Ohio-based Black VCs starting funds right now? Not that I could think of at all. But, you know, it's 7 o'clock. Not going to be a downer on this show. I'm just telling you, like, this being a Black GP is like, it's rough in these streets sometimes. So, yeah, to get that no, and then today, like, I don't know, like, some young man came for my life on Twitter today. I don't know. It's my first troll, if that is what we call it. And I don't understand why anybody would come for me on Twitter, because I feel as if my persona online is like actually really nice. So whatever. I got compared to being like an Uncle Tom, which is like real rough. Yeah, me and Arlen and I guess all of Black VC are doing it wrong. Dope.
Here's a positive note to kick off the night.
Oh, cool. Let's hear it.
I'm wearing I call this my Michelle Obama dress, because we have our first Black female vice presidential candidates. I don't care what the beliefs are. This is a huge moment for all of us. I'm so excited. Say what you want about Biden. We know he's not perfect, but this is incredible for Black women everywhere. I'm very excited for her. I wish she, could have gone farther, but no one was helping her fundraise, whatever. But I'm very excited to see her in this new position potentially. And I'll stop.
Team Jamaica, holler.
What?
Team Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, and she's a cousin.
And I mean, let's also take a moment to realize that my cousin, Maya Rudolph, is about to have 4 of her best years in acting. She is going to spend her time acting her ass off for the next few years as our vice president. I'm super psyched about this.
When she goes to the Saturday Night Live contract room to sign that new contract, she can say anything. Like, listen, you write the check, send the wire. Just give me the keyboard so I can put the number of numbers in it myself, and then hit enter, because there's no one else who's gonna play this role better than me.
No one.
Period.
No one. She's got it all the way. It's gonna be so good. So good. I'm psyched. Yes. That's the energy we need here tonight. Thanks, Lexi.
Shall we get started?
I think we should.
Excellent. We're a company and a venture capital firm that invests in companies run by women and minorities, particularly when they're away from the coast. I'm very, very focused on the Midwest. You are watching live the first pitch competition on Twitch, where you, the viewer, have an opportunity to vote for companies you like best.
So every episode, we have 3 judges, plus you, the audience. You also get to judge each pitch. After each presentation, you'll see a cute little box pop up with a Twitter link for you to vote for if you would invest in the company yourselves.
During round 1, we watched as the startups presented their pitch deck in 5 minutes or less. Then the judges began their Q&A. After we selected viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer, in the end, the audience and judges had the opportunity to vote in the poll below for the company they like best.
Candice, do you mind if we start?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
We got to get the smooth intro. It's got to. Go ahead.
Good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TwitchPitch. This is the very first live stream pitch competition on Twitch, where you get to vote for the companies you like the best. If you're new to TwitchPitch, we're going to review real quick. During round 1, each startup presented their pitch deck in about 5 minutes or less. The judges then began their Q&A, and afterwards they selected a couple viewer-submitted questions for the founders to answer and comment on. And the audience voted in the poll for the company they liked the best. And today you will also get to see demos from those top 3 companies. Over the past 6 episodes, 12 companies pitched, but only 3 with the most votes were considered for the grand prize. From that 3, the chosen one will be revealed here tonight. So, but don't forget, the tiebreaker is the audience vote. And today, the companies are competing for a grand prize of $10,000 in cash money. Woo! So your judges are from the team at Lightship Capital. Alexis Alston is an investor at Lightship and a health tech enthusiast. Brian is a partner at Lightship and an expert in all things AI and machine learning. Candice is the founder of Hillman Accelerator, general partner at Lightship, and expert in all things CPG and e-commerce. And the man that brings it all together, the voice of God, Marlon Avery, our technical director. And I'm your host, Alexia Archery. I'm a BSMD student at the University of Cincinnati and an aspiring venture capitalist. Tonight, our top 3 contestants are, drum roll please, Moodbit, Whiskers and Paw, and Allergy Amulet. So tonight, you'll first see the intro and demo for Moodbit.
Lots of new folks in the audience tonight.
Big finish.
Hi, and welcome to the friendly and effective world of Moodbit. We use machine learning to help companies keep tabs on the happiness of their teams so that they can make a happier, healthier, and more productive company. We can give you valuable feedback directly from your employees to you, and you can move forward with improving your company. We believe that happy employees make a successful company. Moodbit app can be integrated to your company's communication platforms, for example, to your Slack channels. You can observe the overall happiness of your team based on their Slack channel's mood. You can chart the overall Slack channel mood weekly, monthly, and even yearly. Analyze in real time what the moods of your different teams are and what the hourly maximum score is by the end of that day. This will help you interact with your employees in a much better way. Compare your different departments and teams' moods and get instant overall insights. Moodbit can also predict and visually display your company's future mood based on the data using both predictive and prescriptive analyses. Just some of the many things the Moodbit app can do for the betterment of your company and employees.
Why don't we pause
Moodbit,
there?
powering employee engagement.
Dope. Let's bring in the team for Moodbit.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
What's up?
So excited to see you again.
Congratulations. Welcome to the finale.
Thank you.
So I think you've got some stuff to show us live here, too, you wanted to share.
Yeah, I would like to share live. I think that the video was a little bit updated. So can I share my screen now?
Please do.
Okay, great. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Sure can.
Okay, so in the video, what you can see is Moodbit on Slack. As I said in the last episode, what we're doing is we are using active data from Slack channel and other internal communication platforms from the companies or small organizations, and we use all this active data in an anonymous and integrated way. Our bot is called Joy because we want to bring joy to the office. She is a silent person in your team that can understand all the communication in the platform. Once the manager install Moodbit on their Slack channels is the moment that we start using all the data. The manager then goes, just the managers, not the employees, goes to the dashboard, and that person can see all different types of analytics. First of all is the sentiment of the employees and all the different channels. So I can see if I have more happy or sad. This is positive or negative sentiment. We are using AI to understand with sentiment analysis what's the communication in all these channels without reading the whole content, but reading some just words in the content that the people share between each other on these platforms. Managers can understand and they can compare what are the sentiments or what are the engagement of each team or department. For example, I can see the marketing team has a lot of positive communication, and my analytics teams, my analytics are, they do not communicate a lot, but they also have a big percentage of happy communications, and the marketing team has some percentage of negative communications too. So we have different type of analytics, but one thing that we have that other companies in the people analytics do not have is the finding influencers and isolated employee. This is very important because we can find who is connecting with who in the company and how we can make these people to be more productive. This ONA is helping us to understand how the workflow is working and how as a manager can connect these isolated nodes to the whole company, so productivity is going to be more faster, and of course they're going to be more productive. So isolated people, influencer who has the more connections in the company and who are a person that needs a little bit more intros with other people, not just in their teams but in different departments. But one thing that in the video didn't show is our action plans. We are sending every week an action that are going directly to the employees. We think that we don't want to wait for the managers to have time or the knowledge to what to do to help the well-being of the employees. We are sending an action plans every week to the employees. For example, I just received today my action plan that is create a silent mantra. And it's giving me a short, very short paragraph of why mantra and why meditation is very important. It's going to give me maybe a video or a resource to read or something that is giving me the science and the base of why meditation is going to help me as and to be more productive and to be more happy and more healthy in the company. One other thing that we also have is, even though we are the anti-survey company, we have a pull survey that is going to help us to understand two types of analytics. The one that we already have with AI, that is understanding without the needing of the employee to input any type of data. And the other one is just asking two questions. Some companies are using it every week, some are using it just every month. And how satisfied and happy are you at work? I'm going to say I'm very happy because I work at Moodbit. How often do you feel stressed? I'm going to say sometimes. So this type of analytics goes to the dashboard too, and the manager can compare these two types of results from the employees. One that is using active data without the input of the employees, and the other is using just a small survey, pull survey, with the input of the employees. So this is Moodbit. I think I didn't forget anything. I hope this demo was good for you.
Thank you.
No, that was fantastic. Yeah, the last time you were here, you talked about the number of companies that you were working with, and not until the end did we see the number of users that were actually on the platform. So, I mean, that is super impressive. So my question for you is around the manager. So I can see the insights, but can you kind of just clarify, is Moodbit creating some suggestions on how actionable change can be made based on the analytics that they're seeing?
What we're doing is, with the action plans that we are sending to the employees, we are right now we are using general insights that are going to all the employees and are based on the science of happiness and science of the well-being. But what we are working right now is having a correlation with this insight that we have from the analytics that we are extracting from the data, the active data in the platforms, and we want to correlate it to a specific action that manager can improve, that put in action into their teams and into each individual. This is something that we don't have yet, but we are working in that.
Okay, I'm going to actually steal a little bit of a question from the audience real quick, because it was something that I had on my mind. So, from what I remember, you've had a successful exit in the past. Is that right?
No, I had a before company, but I don't have an exit yet.
Okay, so you had a successful company prior. Yeah. What's your plan for exiting this company?
Yeah, that's a great question. I discussed with my co-founder many times, and our big dream is to put Moodbit in, to take Moodbit as an IPO exit. This is our huge dream, and we want to take Moodbit as one of the first companies that is, I think we are very disruptive in the technology, in the industry. HR is very steady, more formal, more, they don't make a lot of disruptive things. And I think we can be this company that disrupt the whole industry. We want to take it as an IPO. As a more, not dreamly and more realistic plan, I think we can be acquired by a big company, ADP or any other HR big company that are managing different type of solutions. And it's kind of, I think it's a recipe very well made. Our service is very good for their clients. So it could be a possibility in, I don't know, 3-4 years that maybe one of these big companies, or maybe these consultant companies that right now we're working with as EY, Deloitte, or Accenture can buy our company.
Great. Awesome. Anybody else?
I have a question around the data itself. So I think you talked a little bit last time about how you protect users' privacy. Talk maybe a little bit more about that. And also, if you could give us an update on the number of both users and clients from the last conversation, so we can get a sense of how things are going.
Sure. So how we protect the data, we anonymize everything and integrate all the data. So right now, the managers can see the results of the whole team in each Slack channel, for example. The managers can see the individual. They can see if this individual is having more negative or more positive communication. That person, the manager, just can't understand the whole perspective of their team. One executive can see the whole results of the company and by team. What we have for O&A is an individual understanding using communication patterns, not using the data from the employees, just understanding how many times they are communicating and how they are connecting between each other. So that's how we are protecting all the data, anonymous and integrated. In terms of how many users and clients we have 2 big pilots with Fortune 500 companies. One is the biggest airline company in South America called LATAM Airlines. We're working with Accenture too, and this is our 2 Fortune 500 companies, and we have 5 or 8 paid clients, and we have 300 free users that are in the free trial, 1 month free trial, and enrolling their paid services.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about how your sales cycle changes when you're going after the big clients like the airline versus some of your small, medium business size clients.
Oh, sure. It's completely different because for B2B, we know and we understand, as I had a previous company for B2B too, and in the same industry, I understand the whole sales cycle. It's very slow. It can take a lot of months, and you have to have a champion inside. What we're doing is we're getting a partnership, a corporate partnership with these big companies, as Accenture and these other consulting companies. They have been showcasing our technology to their clients. This has been very helpful for us because with that, we can knock the door easily because we have the connection internally to that company. With LATAM, we had that pilot because Accenture gave us the path to that, and we made a pilot with the company because of that. With the small companies, for us, it's kind of a little bit more easier because we are doing a lot of marketing content, and they can find us on Slack Marketplace or in another marketplaces too. And by themselves, they can install our technology, and we don't have to show them how to use it. They do it by themselves. So it's easier than going to Fortune 500 companies that is going to take months to do it. But of course, it's completely different how much they pay and the other one, because they have thousands of employees, and the other ones are small companies that are growing very fast. But the sales is completely different.
All right, why don't we take some audience questions? So we've got a good one there.
All right, so is the goal just Slack or other communication platforms as well?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Is the goal just Slack or other communication platforms as well?
No, we have, right now we are in different platforms. We're not just on Slack. We are on Gmail and Outlook. We're working for Microsoft Teams because big companies use Microsoft. But we are in different platforms right now.
Do you support any additional enterprise features like integration with Active Directory or things that big companies are using?
We are working on something like that. We want to integrate to some HR systems. So it's going to be easier for managers to understand. One thing that we are working with the data scientists is the correlation that can understand with the analytics and the results, we can understand if the employee, when they're going to resign the company. So what we want to do is integrate to the HR systems so managers can understand, okay, this person that have been in the same position for 5 years, then we provide the data, that person is going to resign in 8 months. I have to have a strategy to prevent the quitting of that employee or to start finding another one. Easy, faster.
Thank you again. All right. Just like last time, we're going to have you go backstage and we'll talk behind your back.
Great. Thank you.
It's going to be hard tonight.
It's always the last show is always the hardest because everybody's good.
Yeah. It just hit me that the last 3 companies are led by women.
No surprise here.
Because girls run the world.
So no matter what,
Right.
We'll have our first woman winner of the show.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I don't have anything. This is a fantastic company. It deserves an investment here or somewhere else. She's working through it. She could probably be acquired by Slack, right? Slack is making investments as well. They're being very deliberate with their execution of the company. And I mean, to be at that many users with that many companies at this point, she's on to something. It may not be specifically with companies here in the US, but like Latin America is a great place to launch business. So, and with LATAM coming online, I think that's impressive too.
Yeah. Mio's going to be like super rich. Like there's no doubt because there's, we're not always the biggest fans of HR tech on this team for a variety of reasons. I think in my case, having worked with it so much, I'm actually maybe a little more jaded. And I think for you guys, just, challenged with the industry in general. But sometimes you see something that's just transformationally different, right? You can take a kind of boring industry with a lack of innovation, and you see how the boring people in that industry who have a ton of money will just by those other folks. Like Gusto is going to get bought, for instance, not because they're doing the best job, but because they're doing some of the most innovative work in that space, right? And they're going to get bought by the big guys, by ADP, by Paychex, whoever, right? Paycor. So yeah, I think that I'm struck by that. The other thing I'm struck by, and this is true for all three of the finalists, founder quality is important, right? Founder quality is really, really important, and not just the kind of coachability and the dollars and the legal stuff and the sales and the finance, but do you just enjoy spending time with the person, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really kind of true for all the finalists as well, and even for the folks that can't see backstage. Even backstage, these three finalists are all like chatting with each other and like creating community, and like there's a lot of love back there. So you just love to see that as an investor, because you want to see people that when they get together with your other investments, your other CEOs that you invested in, that a community is going to happen, because it's together that success is going to come from. They'll lean on each other even more than lean on us. And I think that's really important. And it seems like, again, Miho and everyone today has that.
I agree. I bet $5 that she will be in a position where Slack, Teams, and maybe Gmail/Meet/Hangouts are in a bidding war to pick it up, because having this would set you apart in terms of being an enterprise client, hands down.
Yeah.
It's just build more and more features, right? Just build more and more enterprise features that when that security administrator or that procurement person is checking boxes, when you're doing an enterprise client, you have to check all the boxes to get the money, right? That's just the process. But as time goes on, and as her and her team build more and more of those check boxes, she'll win more and more deals at higher and higher amounts of money, because then you can say, oh, we're the only ones that do all your boxes, so you got to pay us extra for it. And then again, exits happen. It's very formulaic if you can find a good enough product.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Next one. Let's bring back Alexia.
All right, so up next, we'll see an intro and demo from Whisker and Paw, excuse me.
That's how I took it.
With the evolution of the pet parent demanding and expecting more out of their veterinary visit, the work-life balance for the veterinarian has become strained. Veterinarians are staying after hours to catch up on clinical notes, return phone calls, and respond to emails. As a veterinarian, my priority is to provide the highest quality in medicine, compassion, and efficiency across my practice. I want to share how Via from Whisker and Paw has given me a return on my work-life balance and bottom line as a veterinarian. Working with Google Assistant, Via is an easy-to-use, all-in-one patient information management system made for and designed by veterinarians. Via has built-in recommendations and suggestions, so I can more efficiently complete my SOAP notes during patient visits. With easy-to-use templates and symptom mapping, I'm spending less time on data entry fatigue and more time providing the highest quality medicine. It's super easy and automated. With Via, I can easily download lab results, set up wellness plans, bill and track invoices, access business analytics, track inventory, and manage your drugs and prescriptions. It's packed with time-saving features and a fluid whiteboard that can track and manage a patient from the time they enter the reception area until checkout, all on one screen and in real time. This feature not only keeps the flow timely, but it also has built-ins to prevent backlogging from the surgery or treatment area. In Via, you can even set up a mobile extension of your practice, so you can take Via to house calls, which makes it nice for our four-legged friends who can't make it to a nearby clinic, whether they are too ill or too large. Via is flexible for my practice. When I think of my practice information management system, I think smart and simple. And that's why I chose Via, powered by Whisker and Paw. And because it works with Google Assistant, it helps me become a smarter clinic without the fuss. Become a smart clinic today.
All right, here's your team from Whisker and Paw. This is going to be so tough.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
You're making it hard on us. You're making it hard on us out here.
Jeez, like you are the queen of fake it till you make it. I swear to God, how you made that video look like
It's so dope.
all the way built
Yeah.
out. It's completely left out. Like,
I'm
that's-
ready to buy. I'm like, take my money. Like, here, it's like I need that thing. Like,
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always been a struggle to be able, especially when you're launching new products and working with a lot of companies, you have to show the concept so people understand what you're building for them. And so I think that's probably where that comes from.
So how are you, are you using that video to kind of bring new people into the fold, or like, how are you using that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is marketing material. We are using it to recruit new betas. We actually just had some really great news on Friday. We had 4 more betas that signed up, which is really great. They're under a buying group. So yeah, we're using it for that, but also just to share, in the veterinary space, it's hard to detail in non-veterinary industries like VCs and other financial institutions that want to know more about the product. So we just felt that a commercial would do that well. And by showing a few screen mock-ups and just ease of use, it really illustrates the workflow much better.
Tell me a little bit about the strategy for bringing on new betas. Is that location driven, or is that just you're going out for as many people as possible?
So we're going out for as many people as possible, but right now we actually focused in San Diego area. We have a really strong network from our original beta and then our veterinary advisory group. So they're located in San Diego. So we focus there, but the goal is to spread all the way up through California as far as San Francisco so that we can kind of attain more geographical variety. And then, you know, obviously beyond the state.
So here in the Midwest, we have a lot of, veterinary franchises.
Okay.
And I'm not certain if other cities have that in California. So what's your plan for getting to some of the larger groups?
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually our largest strategy there is our enterprise strategy towards the buying groups. By being able to tackle the buying groups, we get access to a higher volume of clinics. And they also give us access to larger betas where we can actually customize features. Being centered around nimbleness and being able to have that product variety and be able to, you know, develop new features that could better larger clinics, maybe hospitals, whatever, you know, smaller clinics, or even equine health if they're going out into the rural environment. A lot of that is going to take iteration. So we find that working with those buying groups, we're going to be able to improve the product time and time again.
Okay.
did you have that video before when we saw you last time, or
Yes.
was it created in this
It's
time?
in my back pocket. Just little snackable pieces so you guys can slowly fall in love with me.
Brilliant. Also,
Yeah.
technology degree,
Thank
clearly. So I have a question about preparing for success, right? The product is phenomenal. You see that, right, in the comments even here. People are like, oh my God, it's awesome, right? So what happens when San Diego hears about it and it goes viral, and then it's just not just California, but then it's like you start getting signups from all over? How are you preparing for that eventuality as well?
Yeah, so our first tackle right now, part of our first round is $500,000 round, where we really want to secure enough personnel to be able to scale with the product, as well as build out some of those features to automate a lot of our customer support. So we've been looking at other smart programs as well, like Intercom, and being able to embed certain customer success features that will enable that scalability as our product continues to grow. So that's something where we really want to kind of remain lean and be able to bring on the right personnel with the right products that will match that type of growth.
Makes perfect sense. I think the only things I've ever, thought twice or 3 times about was when I wasn't quite ready for the deluge of customers. It's happened 2 or 3 times in my life, and I had promised, like, from this point on, I would always be ready for like 10x what I expected. So it sounds like you're looking at that the right way.
Yes.
You talked a little bit in the past about the kind of market size and the onboarding and the financial opportunity here. I also want to know more about kind of the pricing and how can you even grow that? It seems to me that, and it's crazy to say at this stage of launch, is it possible to charge even more for what you're offering?
So in the market, we want to remain nimble in terms of pricing, but we've did a full market survey on what veterinarians would pay. $3.99 is our average cost based on 2 to 4 veterinarians per clinic. That cost takes in consideration well, it does not take into consideration implementation, cloud storage, anything that goes over by usage or whatever the case is. So we tack those on, but $3.99 will be the basic kind of sweet spot where other competitors are priced at too. We've looked at Shepherd, which is another cloud-based competitor that offers a PIM system, patient information management system, has a little bit of AI built into it. They have the Google autocomplete for some of their notes and some other cool features in there too. They're around the same price as us, between $2.99 and $3.99. But we're finding that the more features that we bring on, and when we have that product stickiness, more and more people will add on features and layer on different add-ons that will increase that month-over-month price. In addition to that, the B2C side, which that play is actually a lot more interesting in terms of higher volume, because now you have your pet parents with 184 million pet parents all over the nation, charging $39.99 a month and giving them 2 wellness exams plus access to a slew of telehealth features, chatbots, different things that just make ease of use, electronic records, and just tracking your pet's health and being more proactive. We're now creating an educational environment where pet parents can be proactive about their pet's health, and it changes the game and also complements the lack of visit length and the number of visits that veterinarians are really looking for, especially during the pandemic. So it's a very interesting play on both sides, but pricing we're always flexible around, but we want to be able to remain competitive. So that's where we kind of set on those prices.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So Patricia, my first question is not a question. It is a shameless plug from myself, my team, and some of our friends at Endeavor, the Endeavor Entrepreneur Program. They wanted me to let you know that if you ever wanted to open another office anywhere, Kentucky apparently has the largest or second largest PetSmart corporate office. Apparently there were a ton of Chewy employees in the Louisville community. And I Googled it to confirm some of the best vet tech programs in terms of universities and professor talent are Michigan University, UPenn, Texas A&M, and University of Minnesota. So if you ever want to step your feet in the Midwest, it seems it's a huge area for what you're building. Just a hint, wink. But my actual question is, and you may have said this last time, I don't remember, what does onboarding look like and what does customer service look like for vets once they have the platform, once they have via integrated into their practice?
The largest piece of our demographic is going to be split, obviously, between people who are paper-based or clinics who are paper-based and those who are electronic. So we've created a solution with both. We've a company that actually does all the API integration with some of the legacy systems, which majority of the demographics are they're using if they're electronic. So being able to integrate those and seamlessly extract the data and transfer into our system is number one. So by being able to secure that partnership, we've been able to just charge an implementation fee, which literally covers, we're passing that cost on, so we can make it as low lift for those clients. Any clinic that is paper-based, we want to make sure that we're able to bring in those records in a timely way. So we're doing it kind of crawl, walk, run style, where we'll do a little bit at a time. We've done it where clinics that are bringing on actual paper-based and they have to input the records, we do it by visits that are coming up. So we base it off of the schedule and we have our team support where needed. But because the user experience in our platform is so easy with creating a new pet profile, many of our beta partners said it's pretty much easy and they're able to upload as they go. So they're able to add in those. We have PDF readers, different things that can be brought in so they can actually dump in laboratory results or any other types of things. So we try to make it as seamless as possible, especially since the industry is, forgive me, veterinarians, very archaic. And they're very much dependent on these legacy systems that just don't have the technology that we're offering today.
Fantastic.
All right, why don't we bring Alexia back in to take audience questions?
So what do vets use now?
Yeah, so in the veterinarian industry, they are using some of the larger CRM systems, or what they call as PIMS, patient information management systems. Those are your Avermark, your Cornerstones, those larger groups. A lot of those companies are owned by Henry Schein, so they're very much coming from the same wheelhouse, which makes innovation very hard to find in the industry. So that's why a lot of them are thirsty for plugins and different things. We've even explored alternate revenue streams, where maybe even licensing certain of the AI can be used for some of those platforms if people don't want to switch. But of course, those would be pursued through key partnership opportunities.
Most of your comments are just all love, just like so there are many questions in there. Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
As
guys.
always,
I appreciate
learned
it.
a lot.
Thank you.
I knew what soap
Great
was this time, so I was like, "Yep, I'm on it." You told me. And so we're gonna, as usual, talk behind your back and go from
I
there.
really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Another one of those.
Yeah. Again, hard. The thing, again, holding this company back from me is just where it is in process. So this for me is I hate this. This is a wait and see. Just because the purpose of this show was for us to invest in companies at some point, right? Like, this company for me is early, and that is the only issue that I see, because I see that there's a huge market. I see that she's a great founder. I'm going to guess that the other founders are, the other co-founder is fantastic. That's the only thing. It's just like time. Nobody has anything?
I mean, listen, I'll say this. Time is important, but you know, diligence takes 30 to 90 days. So it seems like she's going to switch on this revenue switch relatively soon. It's not something I'm worried about at all. I think it's just a matter of them being ready to flick on the switch, and she'll be ready to go.
You're right. I know.
But that's also what we do. It happens often. Our very first investment in the fund was to a company that we've been working with for 9 months, almost a year, really.
It was a year.
A year prior to making the investment. So it just, sometimes timing is just the issue, but we always like to stay in touch and keep working with the companies. And then when the moment's right, that's a really inappropriate commercial. When the moment's right, we're there to invest.
I have no idea what you were about to say.
It's a very famous pharmaceutical commercial.
Oh, wow. Yes. I know exactly which commercial that is. Yeah.
But I'm going to be ready and waiting for Patricia when she's ready.
Lexi, why don't you answer the question from Tony here? If a company's too early, then how will they get through the vetting process?
Oh, so a company, if they're too early, so there's two answers to that, really. If a company is too early, they theoretically won't make it through the investment committee. It doesn't mean that they get tossed into the trash. We never see them again. It just means it's not the right time to bring them through. For us, there are certain KPIs per industry that we'd like to see them hit prior to them being ready.
What's the KPI? What's the KPI?
There are certain key performance indicators we want to see them hit prior to getting an investment from us. For us, for a platform like this, that's entirely digital, those KPIs, a big one is going to be just revenue, number of customers, retention, churn. We're going to want to see those numbers at a certain rate before we get comfortable investing. What we normally do is, if you're not ready, but we really like you and we think it's going to be a fit eventually, we won't present you to committee, but we'll work with you behind the scenes. As some of you may not know, and they can speak more about it, we have these other really great programs that we run to support founders, sometimes before we invest in them, where we can continually work with them behind the scenes to help grow them. And when they're ready, we're here and we've already built the relationship, and it makes going through diligence really easy.
So with that being said, we've invested in companies we've known less time, right?
Yeah. I have a whole different whole different topic, which
But-
is. But
No, go. Sorry.
Okay.
This random word. It just popped out. Like, sorry. It's getting late, you guys. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day.
I think every now and then you meet a founder that like sticks in you, like sticks in your head, and you know, like that person is they're going to win. Like when I met Delane Parnell, like I knew Delane was going to win. No, he could be selling ice cream. He could be selling cars. It doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. Like the guy just like has it, the sharpness of his mind. Like you just knew that it was going to really go well. And yeah, I just think Patricia has that. Like I think that you just know that no matter what, whenever it gets tough or there's a fork in the road, she's going to pick the correct direction, right? It's just innate. And I don't have any, like, the company's so young, I don't have any concrete reasons looking back to tell you why that is. But I also think that you can still, when you see transformational folks, look forward and project that kind of success. And sometimes, even we as a fund get caught in that same situation. People know we're going to be successful, right? It's the ones that are just like, yep, they're great, and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. That the relationships are so great, and the ones that really kind of harp and focus on the fact that we're a new fund, those are the most kind of painful of our relationships, right? And so I just want to be that person for founders that that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll also add that, the reasons why it's for me too early, right? Everybody else on the investment committee, I'm not the only person, right? There's a whole team of us here. Like I like to look at a person's ability to manage product, right? And so I can't see that management of product if it's not actually functional. Because a ton of money is burned by founders that haven't done that work.
It's like the saying, don't learn on my burn.
And so for me, I'm judging this based on my ability to invest in this company and not my ability to give a company $10,000.
Yeah, that's the criteria. And that's also the criteria that we gave to the audience as well. Would you invest in this company? And the term invest is indicative of return and not grant. So,
like, would I invest in this company in the next 90 days? That's where I'm at, right?
All right. Shall we go to the next one?
God, yeah.
Alexia, welcome
All
back.
right, up next, you'll see another intro and demo from Allergy Amulet.
Eating foods prepared by others can be challenging when you have a food allergy or intolerance. That's why we developed the Allergy Amulet, a fast and portable food allergen and ingredient detection device designed to help individuals feel safer about the foods they eat. The simple operation of the Allergy Amulet starts with inserting a single-use test strip into a liquid or solid food sample. Users then insert the strip into the sheath covering, shake, and plug the connector into the amulet reader. Each sheath contains molecularly imprinted polymers, advanced biomaterials with synthetic cavities, designed to bind to target molecules. If binding occurs, the reader detects a measurable interaction, alerting the user to the presence of the target ingredient within seconds. If no binding occurs, the reader signals that the target ingredient was not detected. The amulet can be configured as a wearable or integrated into everyday products. With an accompanying app, users can track and upload tests, connect with other food allergic individuals, and store and share important information like emergency contacts. The Allergy Amulet serves as a supplemental management tool, enabling users to directly sample their food for unwanted ingredients. At Allergy Amulet, we strive to provide greater food transparency, so that users can feel more secure when eating foods prepared by others.
Where are these videos coming from? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
All I know is our portfolio companies need to pick it up. Okay.
Let's bring on the team for Allergy Amulet. Well, that was dope. That was amazing.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Hey, Abby.
I don't know if you noticed, Lexi, I was getting plant envy, so I switched my spot. Just
I was going to say, I
was like, gosh, this is such a boring backdrop. I have 2 plants right across the room. I'm gonna.
I think you're in a perfect position, and you get bonus points just for that.
Well, I just wanted to step it up. I know it's late. I wanted to give you guys a bit more of a
I love it. I guess, well, I'll start with a question then. Tell me about user education. Are you building all of your education towards the parents? I know moms are your target demographic as a customer, or are you building education towards the end user as well, which will be a lot of times younger children?
Yeah, so part of one of the big focuses of ours in the past few years has been the education piece through our blog content, through our messaging, working with our clinician advisors and investors to make sure that we're communicating this as another tool in your toolbox. Each case is going to accommodate your amulet, your testers, but also your epinephrine and your histamines, right? Your antihistamines. That education piece, especially when, we want to become a complete allergy management platform, an all-in-one place that you can have your epi, your antihistamines, your amulet, your disposables, so that you are armed with everything you need to dine safely when you're eating foods prepared by others. Does that answer your question? And I think, we want our product to help, families to feel more comfortable dining out, worry-free, both, when they're together and when they're apart, for children to lead more inclusive childhoods, maintain independence, for businesses that want to hold themselves out as a friend of the food allergy community, and individuals that want to dine out with greater ease when they're eating foods prepared by others.
I have a conceptual question, maybe more from your whole life even. Oftentimes when we ask people about this product and the space and things, and I've read the feedback, there's kind of 2 groups, right? There's one that really listens to what you're saying and then tries to ask kind of a thoughtful, formative question. There's another group that's like, the know-it-all group, right? Where it's like, I don't know, this and that. And then you read the feedback, it's actually not right at all, and it didn't even kind of comprehend some of the things that you were saying. So how do you deal with the folks that just, I believe there's some bias in it, just kind of don't believe these great things that you actually accomplished? Like, do you work with them? Do you ignore them? Do you try to bring them into the fold? And then that's question 1. And question 2 is, how do you overcome that same mentality amongst customers, right? Where it's like, this is a perfect thing. Like, it couldn't be perfect, because people have the sense that like the perfect thing for them can't be perfect, right? So how do you overcome almost your success in this scenario?
Well, I would say that, with any new product category, there's going to be an education, there's going to be a learning curve, right? So where we've seen, I think, some, I would say, with allergists in particular, they want to see, I think that they want to see, rightfully so, a lot of our data around accuracy, around food testing. They just want to be able to inform their patients. And we've been working on that with our allergists, right? So we have a clinical messaging strategy. We really, from parents, I can't tell you how this would be a game changer for so many parents and so many individuals. And it's actually relatively rare that we'll get you know, some pushback. Where we do see it sometimes is that with parents thinking that this might make their child feel like they're invincible, that they can just have this test and then just dive into their cheese, you know, just dive into their dish, right? And it's important for, I think, as part of the messaging to speak to the inherent limitations of a product like this. You know, it's very much a supplement, not a substitute. You know, you're testing a representative sample of your food, right? So we want the food allergy community to still take all precautions that they would otherwise normally take when dining out. So telling the wait staff, carrying epinephrine. But, you know, the other features that we're building into the product, like the MediAlert piece, right? So you can hold the reader down and it'll send an alert to your emergency contacts, right? So that's some of these features could be standalone businesses, like EpiAlert, to be able to locate the nearest epinephrine auto-injector. So in addition to having this additional check, right, on your food, because right now, you know, the status quo is highly risky. You're primarily relying on the wait staff, and this could be you know, an 18-year-old kid who doesn't know the difference between, you know, who doesn't know the different tree nuts, or know that, you know, pine nuts or you know, are often in pesto, things like that, right? So, you know, that's sort of the bar right now is the rest is the wait staff. You know, even my friends, when I go out to dinner parties and stay at, you know, at their house, you know, my friend Amanda, I remember saying, "Are walnuts tree nuts, Abby?" I was like, "Yes, Amanda, walnuts are tree nuts." This is like, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's really to provide an additional check, you know, at the table to make sure that, you know, the food that you're about to eat isn't going to potentially kill you or send you to the ER or result in having to use life-saving medication like epinephrine. Does that answer your question, Brian?
Perfectly.
Yeah, there's been several times, well, actually not just several times, like for a full year, I purchased Toblerone chocolate for the office because I like Toblerone and we have used it in programming. Knowing full well, and Lexi revealed this on an earlier episode, that Lexi has a nut allergy. And, you know, I think chocolate and I don't think the nuts in the chocolate. So, yeah, that's as an aside. So tell me a little bit about the pre-sale that you're doing later this year. So what are your plans for October, and what are your goals for October and beyond?
Yeah, so we already have pent-up demand through our beta testing sign-up list. We're oversubscribed on that. We're only planning to engage about 50 beta users, and we have thousands. And I think that for us, you know, that's you know, launching beta testing and then also launching pre-orders this fall. You know, with this new financing, we're finally going to be able to put dollars behind marketing and really you know, engage a lot of those KOLs, you know, the bloggers in the allergy space, a lot of the key influencers, and really build out that base and reach our target market. To date, a lot of the content you see on our website and our blogs, a lot of that's just original content. We haven't paid for it. It's mostly written by either me or our CMO. And then we have some guest posts. But yeah, I think we're working right now on really building our following, teeing that up for pre-order launch in October, and then carrying out beta testing later this year into Q1 of 2021. You know, and then going live and launching in fall of 2021. So it's hardware, so that, you know, the timeline between, you know, closing on the funding and getting a hardware product to market is a little bit longer. But yeah, we're, you know, excited. We think we've surrounded ourselves with a really solid, you know, foundational team, and we have some great partners we're working with. So yeah, we're looking forward to the next phase.
Awesome.
Well, I don't see any audience questions, so why don't we go right to? But do you have one more, Candice?
Maybe just real quick, just to jog my memory.
I thought I saw it coming.
I just need to jog my memory question. So remind me about rules with the FDA for this particular piece of hardware.
So yeah, so shorthand for a medical device is something you put into your body or that you're testing your body with. And so a good analog for our product is a carbon monoxide reader, right? You're testing the environment for safety. You're testing your food for an ingredient, right? And you're getting another bit of data about your food. There are, the food manufacturers run these tests. Those are probably the other best analogs are sort of the ELISA-based commercial tests that food manufacturers use to test for allergens, to test for E. coli, salmonella. And yeah, so there's no FDA. That said, we plan to have a robust QMS strategy. Many of our advisors are experts in a lot of that. And so, we're still holding our test to very high standards, but FDA, we're not, we don't have to go through regulatory approvals, and a lot of it is discretionary. And I will say too, so I think I might have mentioned this in the last Twitch, but food allergies have just skyrocketed, right? You have 1 in 13 kids, 1 in 10 adults, and every 3 minutes a food allergy sends someone to the ER. And there's a huge financial the burden financially from an anxiety, stress standpoint is significant, especially for parents with young kids, just because this is a brave new world with food allergies.
All right.
And so I think that's
Excellent.
one. Oh, sorry, Brian.
We do have one question. Looks like for the audience. Why don't we bring Alexia back?
Oh.
How is COVID-19 affecting your business model if fewer people are going out to eat?
Yeah, great question. So, we're fortunate in that we've been relatively insulated from the market effects. We're pre-launch. We also, the same use case applies to takeout foods, right? It also applies to may contain. So you mentioned Toblerone. A lot of chocolates will say may contain or made in the same facility. A lot of, I've definitely inadvertently eaten those and been fine. That said, I would use the amulet to test for those, right? Because a lot of the labeling out there, with packaged goods, it's just the food labeling system right now for the food allergy community is a mess. It's mostly for liability purposes that a lot of foods they may contain that are perfectly safe for a lot of people to just the reality. So our test could apply to packaged goods, takeout, at least for right now with COVID. But we've been insulated from the market effects large in part because we're a year away from market. I will say too that we've actually seen an uptick in interest in our technology because of the broader diagnostic applications. So we are starting with food allergens, but we're also looking at E. coli, salmonella, foodborne pathogens, contaminants. And so there are industrial applications for our tech as well. And with COVID, we've seen a significant uptick in interest around food safety, around diagnostics. And so I think allergens are really just the beginning, and we see broader applications down the road.
All right. Well, Abby, thank you so much for joining us today. Unbelievable.
Yep, as always.
Yep. We'll just have a little chat, and then we'll start some voting too.
Yeah, and I want to say one more thing, if you don't mind. With talking with investing, I think investing in locals, just to the point you were earlier talking about, there's been an effort or proposal to take 0.3% of the Wisconsin pension fund, which is $1 billion, so 0.3%, $300 million invested across 1,000 startups. So every startup would get $300,000. It's called the land of 1,000 startups. But you talk about all this money going into the pension fund, the SWIB Wisconsin pension fund. If you just took a fraction of that money and put it into startups, you could see a lot more investing in entrepreneurship and locals investing in locals, rather than these pension funds, which just put a lot of those investments in the coasts. And so I think there are a lot of interesting models right now where you see, because I'm with you, there's I would love to see more locals investing in locals, and Illinois and Ohio investing in their local funds like you guys. And I think we just need to see more of that. So that's why I said amen in the sidebar. I was like, it wasn't amen, we're going live. It was amen, we need more locals.
I like that.
More locals investing in locals, and obviously more Black VCs. And I'm I think we just need more of that. I think there are some investors. One of our investors, actually, that was his idea. Mark Bakken. But yeah, I don't know why that didn't really take off or get more traction. But I do think that there is a push to keep a lot of that money local, right? Like it's a $1 billion, I think SWIB is like a $1 billion pension fund. Like, why don't you take a fraction of that and throw it at local entrepreneurs?
Less than 1%.
Sorry?
Less than 1%. We have that much impact.
Less than 1%, and put that into the entrepreneurial community. So I'll leave it there. I totally appreciated and a lot of that resonated too with my own experience.
It means a lot to us. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you so much.
Abby, good seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Well.
Every time.
Well.
Well, all she has to do, once again, it's just like Whisker and Paw. All she has to do is flip on the switch, go to market. It's a wrap. There is absolutely no one doing this. Not a single person has figured out.
Not that well
this
either.
And the only people who are doing it are, like she said, are ELISAs. You know what ELISAs are? ELISA assays are lab equipment. There is nothing for a consumer or for a restaurant that does this successfully. And I also think that going after moms and getting your kid one of these at the age of, 4 or 5 when they go to kindergarten and having it be with you for the life of the kid, and then building that community around the app and the other applications and integrating the epi into it, fantastic. Truly for allergies.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how this slightly flies in the face of what I talked about earlier, which is it seems early.
It's literally the opposite of what you just it's early and it's hardware.
Yeah. But okay, for the record, multiple patents in the portfolio. They've been working on this since I can't remember the year. 16?
I'm a fan. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's my
2016. They've gotten it this far on $1 million plus, right? Like, I think ish. I may have made all that up, but early, but still early. Much like our investment in a company called Prove, which we invested in pre-FDA clearance. Yeah, I guess I just talk out of both sides of my mouth.
Well,
I'm just, yeah. What do we got here, people?
It shows you our work is highly subjective. This is a good demonstration to the audience that our work is very, very subjective. There are no hard and fast rules. We say that they're rules, but they're easily bent or broken.
So, Brian, you want to read that real quick so that we keep talking?
Yeah, maybe Alexi is available because she's more literate than I am.
All right, so everybody, now that our 3 top companies have presented, demoed, and introed, please don't forget to vote in the poll below. It's a Twitter poll, so go vote for the company you would like to invest in.
Thank you. So it's gonna be tough, and also vote, but also feel free to comment, folks, on who you would select for your winner. We'd love to see some of the comments here.
And the why. Really,
and the
not just like I'm gonna pick that company, but like I want to know the why.
Yeah, who would
or
you
the why not?
Why not? All those things would be very helpful. Whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on Periscope, whether you're on Facebook, we can see all of your comments here.
YouTube, not LinkedIn though, because we can't get approved.
LinkedIn's tough, man. It's like a nightclub or something. So it's tough. It's tough. Got some good feedback from Moodbit.
Oh, can we see the poll? I don't want to see it. No. I don't feel like that's right. That's not right. Focused. Yeah. Team is great over at Allergy Amulet. The risk is in the timing. Starting with 50 users, it's early. I don't know. I'll vote later.
I'll say something here that we're not going to talk about here, but I do want the audience to really understand. One of the other things that we would think about on an investment side is what's the valuation at the current stage too, right? So again, we're not going to go into these folks' valuations on the show, but depending on how aggressive you are with valuation, if you're early, does sometimes tip an investment team one way or another, like if it's a quote unquote fair deal or a good deal versus an expensive and early is difficult.
So this is open for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Got it. And then we vote, and then we give away $10,000.
Here's my political answer. All 3 of these teams are winners.
All of them.
I don't have the powers of Candice where I could give out $30,000, but I'll say in spirit, they're all winners. They are all investable companies.
All of them. 100%.
They all are going to grow and scale and do fantastically, in my opinion. Let's go in order. Moodbit is going to crush it in a space that no one's really figured out. As she said, HR tech is boring and played out, and everyone's trying to do the same analytic play, and it's not interesting anymore. She's actually figured it out in a very unintrusive way, in a very instinctual way that puts no real onerous on anyone in the company. And she's done this before in a different way, but she's done this before, which I like. Patricia doing something that is in a very, very fire hot market right now. Mm-hmm. Everyone in the space is getting acquired because people are building these solutions for human and then trying to translate it to pet and vet, and it doesn't work. So the people who can really, really create something in vet are crushing it, and they're getting acquired very early, very simply. She has to figure out, is this actually the right product for who she wants to get into the hands of, which we'll just know when she starts to sell. That's her big risk. It's just, is this really exactly the version that her consumers want? And then with Allergy Amulet, she has 2 risks really. One is, does it work? We know it works, but does it work in practice? In terms of it's the way we look at birth control, right? Birth control is 99.6% accurate, but most users don't use it appropriately. So when you think about the way users use the product, does it still work? We consider how dumb most users are in practice. So we'll figure that out when she is in beta and with her pre-orders. And then 2, the other thing with this and with all hardware really is it can get expensive really quickly. Just to keep up and to continue modifying on the product to be the best on market. That's the other thing she'll have to tackle. But very great team. Once again, we'll be the only people in this space doing this. It's great for both consumer and the industry applications. I see as Louis Charles's comment, I think this would be huge on the consumer side. Anyone with allergies that are on the anaphylactic scale would want this in their pocket. It would save not only a $600 EpiPen use potentially, but multi-$1,000 ER visit. So all 3 of them are great. I don't know if that's helped anyone in the audience or Candice or Brian, but that's how I'm thinking about these 3.
Well, we've come to a time, so the poll is now up. I think we're going to bring Marlon in. We'll give the audience answer first because that's a tiebreaker. And then myself and Lexi only get 1 vote, so we'll give our votes. And then like last time, Candice will go last because she gets 2 votes, and that should give us the answer we need, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
So with that, Marlon, voice of God, the producer of the show, often heard, never seen. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We haven't had you on the show this season, have we, at all?
Yeah. See, episode 1.
Oh, okay. Welcome back to the finale. Good to have you.
Okay. So we launched the audience Twitter poll, and it really came down to the very, very, very last second. And for the first time ever in TwitchPitch history, we have a tie.
Of course we do. Of course
we have a tie.
Things we didn't account for in the rules.
There's no time.
Somebody came in, I think like 2 or 3 people came in with like 3 seconds left. And the tie is between Moodbit and Whisker and Paw for the audience vote.
Woo.
Wow. Very tough.
Wow.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Lexi, you're the most professional of the 3 of us, please.
So this is very difficult. I think they're all great for different reasons. This is tough. So I think I'm going to have to go with Allergy Amulet, and I'll say because I think they're all great, but I get very excited, and it's very rare that I see something that's entirely category defining in its space, either hardware or software, where you're really the first of your kind and you have a lot of IP support to back it up, where it's literally just yours. And it's also a market that's very difficult for someone else to come into and do successfully. There'd be a lot of work for someone else to come behind them and do this who wasn't, already rich like a Google. Oh, hi, Dawn. We see Dawn from The Most here watching this episode.
Friend of the show.
And so they're my vote. But I love Whisker and Paw and Moodbit to bits, and definitely want to continue to talk to those companies as well offline.
Man, this is difficult. The toughest thing is they're in very different spaces, right? So it's literally possible for all of them to be kind of equal, right? I noticed in both in the comments, but even when I've talked to people about all 3 companies just in my own kind of life, and people get very excited about Whisker and Paw because they have animals, or they know someone with animals, and they know what they pay for things, and they know that it's always like an I know story, like, oh, I know blah blah blah, and then they go like, yeah, I would do that. And you like to see a company kind of have a simmering virality out there they can tap into, and then it just goes. I used to talk about in my own company that we were riding the wave of facial recognition getting big. We weren't trying to change society, right? That people like Apple and others were already making these facial recognition a norm, and we were just kind of riding the enterprise side of that wave. We were creating a wave, which is a harder thing to do. Yeah. So I think that's important to me. Moodbit, I just feel like from a traction perspective, I mean, how can we in good conscience, one person that's like crushing it with like people are sending the check, right? Like sending their money, and like, yeah, that's a real thing. And again, like I'm all about the stories, but like Candice and I, even though we have decent means, we're cheap. We were telling a story the other day of how we were like, trying to get like this coupon or something like that to work or whatever. Like it would save us like $10. Like we honestly don't need the $10, but we were like, we're gonna win. Like, we're gonna get this $10. You know what I mean? Like to get $1 out of any consumer's pocket is difficult, right? Like you gotta really, really want. Like for right this second, Lexi could open her window, drop a $5 bill out of the window. And would it change her life? Would she miss her rent payment? Like, no, it means nothing, right? Yeah, but she wouldn't, right? But she wouldn't do that, right? Because it's hard to get $1 out of a consumer's pocket. So I think I have to go, for me, Moodbit, because they have succeeded in getting money out of enterprise customers' pockets, including airlines in a highly regulated industry in Latin America. Like, you couldn't pick a harder scenario to accomplish, and that's what they've accomplished. So it was hard. I thought through it out loud, but that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. It's Moodbit for me.
So Candice, once again, it's all you, okay? Because we're sitting at 1.5 votes for Moodbit, 0.5 votes for Whisker and Paw, and 1 vote for Allergy Amulet. Your 2 will make or break this entire thing.
This is the worst. Thanks a lot, team. Wow. Yeah, here's what I'll say. Yikes. So a no right now for any of the companies in this group. And I guess I couldn't have said that fully for the last season, right? Last season, the finale was Hustle Clean, Undock, and Bottle, right? Bottle as a ed tech company, for me, it's not in our space, right? Like, so those 3 companies, 2 of the 3, I could see myself investing in. Tonight, I see that I could invest in all 3. They all make sense for thesis. There's some geography issues that we can work our way through. So I want that, like, all of the folks that competed, like, know that we'd like to see you in the pipeline. Like, diligence can still happen. Please stay engaged with us because we are writing checks. We haven't announced them all, but we've invested in 3 companies so far in the last few weeks. We've deployed over $1 million in the last 4 weeks. So stick with us. We really write checks. With that being said, my pick for the winner is Allergy Amulet. Let's bring her up.
Oh, we've got a nice. Is this?
What is this?
This is dope.
Congrats, Abby!
What is this? There's snow. I love it.
I have to say, your marketing, like that countdown, that was really like sharp. Like going into it, like that was like, yeah, this is some great content. Is that Marlon doing that?
And Raquel on our team as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, no, this has been, I didn't tell anyone that I was doing this because I didn't want anyone to watch. I didn't know. Like, no one, literally, our team doesn't know I'm here. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this because I was like, I don't like. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't want to be watching me. No, but it's been such a, like, I've really enjoyed, like, meeting you all and being a part of this. It's definitely, this has been great. And I'm so appreciative of I didn't even know $10,000 was part of this.
What?
I had no idea.
Why did you come?
I was part of the finale, and I'll do. Yeah, of course I'll be part of the finale. I did not know there was a prize involved, so this is great.
She just came up on $10,000 and had no idea.
No idea. I had no idea. I learned that during this whole
So the good news for you is there's $10,000 cash, but there's also another $100,000 plus in other prizes as well.
Well, yeah, even that's awesome. That's it. This has just been it's been so great to get to know you all and know that, your fund is here in the Midwest, and thrilled to be a recipient of $10,000.
Awesome.
And 100,000 in perks. So thank you so
free
much.
for a couple years, for instance, like all kinds of like great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and Lexi would love to get you guys one of our early betas if you'd like to be part of it. We were told like we were going to maybe produce more, but they said, just do 50 and then you'll get the same quality feedback from your users as if you did like 500. But we were way oversubscribed for beta, but we'd love to give one to you, Lexi, if you want, just to test it out.
I would love one.
Wow.
And we can get you the necklace version, or we have a wristband version. We have different
No, I want necklace. I want what you have.
Okay, yeah. I'm a fan. It's sharp. So yeah, we'll get you a necklace. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, congratulations! And let me clarify something really quick in the comments, just so everyone's aware. Our voting process is the way it works on the investment committee. Candice receives 2 votes. Brian and myself receive 1 vote. In the audience, you vote as a collective and you receive 1 vote as well. So just because the audience larger vote didn't win, that's just the way it works on investment committees. The person who's your chairman makes all the rules and they get the biggest vote in committee because they're the smartest one in the room. So that's
I don't know about that.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
And I loved all the other companies. And I have to say too, I've noticed with women, especially our own competitors, I know the 2 founders of like other people out there, and we've been really supportive of one another. I'm always about, I think rising tides lift all boats. And yeah, if there's any way I can be supportive, or I think, to the other panelists on this, or a consumer or buyer, I loved both of the other products too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to put everybody together on the email because there seemed to be a lot of collaboration there. So we'll make sure you guys all stay connected. So
awesome. I'm all about females supporting females, especially in the space. So yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
Tough out there.
I love this show. So positive.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And and $10,000. That's great.
Thank you.
Good. Have a good night, Abby.
Have a good night. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Wow. Another season.
Another season. We've done it. That's so exciting. Woo.
Unbelievable. I love the big thank you and the I didn't tell anybody to watch. Like I love that stuff.
There's some random people that are doing this online pitch competition. I'm gonna do it. I don't know why, but I'm gonna try this. Okay, Abby.
And then win.
Just so randomly. Yeah. All right. We are so far over, you guys. Like a lot far over.
All right. So why don't we wrap with Alexia and then wrap.
Hey everybody, so we're at the end of season 2. A huge thank you to the judges and a big congratulations to Allergy Amulet. So this pitch was, this episode of Twitch Pitch is sponsored by Republic and Amazon Web Services. Republic allows anyone to invest in privately owned and vetted startups. They launched to level the playing field for entrepreneurs and investors. Republic has garnered a reputation as an industry leader in the regulated crowdfunding space and continues to innovate and push forward towards their mission to democratize startup fundraising and investing. This episode was also sponsored by Amazon Web Services, or AWS. They're the most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform, offering over 175 fully featured services from data centers globally. Millions of customers, including the world's fastest growing startups, are using AWS to become more agile and innovate faster. Again, a huge thank you to all of our viewers from the past season and this season. It's been a wonderful journey on Twitch for all of us. Stay tuned for season 3 later this month. We're also taking applications for companies to star on the show. Just go to Lightship Capital and our website and fill out the application. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining.
Wow, we did it. Good job, Alexia. That was great.
Thank you.
And I think, Marlon, given the time, since we went so over, we'll just go right to end of the show. Yep, right out the backstage.
Wow.
That was great.
We did it, fam.